What's going on, guys? My name is Kyle. Welcome back to my garage. Today we're going to be working on the Lancer and doing something that I'm very skeptical about. I genuinely have no idea if this is going to work, but in comparison to the more expensive option, we have to try. So what is it exactly that we are doing today? Well, ever since we bought the Lancer, it's had a chip in the windshield on the driver's side of the car, and I've never fixed it. I've had quotes from companies to come out and professionally fix it, but it's gonna cost like $200 and something, and I just don't really wanna spend that much money. So I went online and I picked up one of these. This was the packaging for the windshield repair kit, but believe me when I tell you this, I've already filmed most of this, but I didn't push record on my camera. So we can't do an unboxing, I do apologize, but I have one, which is great. Now we get to go through it all over again, and I get to have deja vu, which is fantastic. So this is what comes with the kit. It's pretty straightforward. We get a little leaflet here with some instructions that we are gonna follow to the letter, because I know out of all the things we've done, this is probably one that I'd make a mistake on. It comes with this little suction cup holder thing, so it has 4 suction cups and then a threaded inserted barrel that we use this for. So these go together. I think this is to cause tension on this part. I have no real idea. All I know is that these go together, they screw in and whatever. It also came with a little pin that we use to scrape out any excess glass that's left in the chip, and it comes with this little resin bottle. It doesn't really explain what it is and what's in it, so I'm just going to assume that that's the repair resin and hope for the best. This could literally be super glue and I would have absolutely zero idea. And the last thing that we got in our kit is these little windshield repair sheets. It comes with 5 of these sheets. I don't know if I should be touching them with my oily hands, but it comes with 5 of those. So I don't really know exactly what we have to do, but I have already followed at least step 1, which is to remove the glass with the thumbtack. I did that already, but like I said, I wasn't recording, so I'm not gonna do that again. So because I've already done step 1 with the thumbtack, what we're gonna do is move over straight to step 2, which essentially is to get this little thing and mount it to the windshield and trying to line up the chip right in between that little circle part. So let's do that now. I feel like I'm making this seem way more dramatic than it needs to be. Like we should get some dramatic music and just make this really suspenseful. Oh, I am so glad that's done, because I don't think I can deal with that kind of stress in my life. Now that we've done one of the hardest things known to man, we're gonna get this pressure cylinder. Now this has a little bit of thread just on the outside that's gonna thread into the suction cups that we've already attached to the windshield. And I'm assuming that this is gonna cause some tension, because once we've got that, we can unscrew this back part, and let's see if you can undo it. You'll see right down the middle there, that is where we're actually gonna be putting the resin. So I'm assuming that this tightens to create a seal, and then the resin only goes into the chip. I don't know. We're gonna put this on now and just, I don't know, see what happens. So we just need to grab this and then chuck it into the thread, and if we can get it to grab, there we go. Just tighten it up. We can see it's already hitting the windshield. We're gonna get that nice and tight. I don't know how tight, but I'm gonna assume that that's pretty good. I mean, obviously if any fluid starts to leak out the side, we know it's not tight enough, but I feel like that's pretty good. So we're gonna take this part out, then we're gonna grab the resin and jump on to step 3. Okay, step number 3. What we need to do is get this resin, take off the top. There's a tiny little tab that we need to break off, I'm assuming. It doesn't really explain, but yep. Okay, taken off the top. Now, what we need to do is put 3 to 4 drops of this resin inside the tube that we've just tightened down on top of the windshield. So this is gonna fill the cracks that are sort of exposed by that pressure cylinder. And then what we need to do is get the part that we've removed, put it back in, tighten it down, and what that does is squish this into all the cracks of the glass and get rid of all the air. So I'm gonna quickly set up the camera, we'll get a couple of drops in, we'll tighten it down with the pressure cylinder, and then we'll jump in the car and see if we can see anything, I guess. Let's do it. That was very awkward. Let's do it. Okay, so we need 3 or 4 drops. Okay, we got 4 drops in. Let's get our plunger. Now, we need to put this in here and then tighten it down to get all the air out. All right, now it says to sit there for 1 minute. So let's jump inside the car and we'll see if it's doing anything. Okay, let's see if we can see anything. So I mean, you can see it's not perfect, but it's definitely doing its job. So there's a little bit of fluid that's coming down into the crack. I can't go any closer because it can't focus, but it is filling the cracks just a little bit. So I'm gonna take that plunger back out and then let it sit for a second. And then we need to put a clear film on the top and let it dry in the sun. But so far, I feel like that's doing not too bad. All right, so I've taken the pressure cylinder off. Now we can take the suction cup off, which I'm probably gonna need 2 hands for because this is a very good suction cup. Oh, there we go, one more, don't make a mess. Oh gosh, there we go. Okay, so you can see that there's a little bit of that, oh, you guys can't even see it. You have to take my word for it. There's resin in there that has filled up that crack. So what we're gonna do now is get one of the sheets, put one of the clear sheets on it, and then put it out in the sun for 30 minutes. Okay, so what we need to do is put 1 drop of this resin on the sheet. Okay, 1 drop. We want to put this face down on the crack. And now we want to get our razor blade and we want to I'm going to use the back, sort of the back side of it, not the blade. And we're just going to get all of those air bubbles out. I have no idea if this is going to work or not, but like I said, it's all part of the learning process. I'm going to try and get all of those air bubbles out as best as possible, especially just out of the crack. I don't think it really matters too much about the other areas as long as the crack's covered. Okay, so now what we need to do is take this outside, chuck this in the sun for 30 minutes and see what happens, I guess. Let's, I don't know, cross our fingers. Okay, it was very awkward, but car's outside. We're gonna let that sit there for 30 minutes, let the resin cure or dry, and then, I don't know, come back and either see a really big mess that's gonna be a pain to clean, or it'll be fixed. I'll see you in half an hour. Okay, our 30-minute timer is done. Let's see if I've made a terrible mistake. I have to try and push the car back in, just bear with me. Okay, car's in. Let's have a look and see if we did the right thing or the wrong thing. I'm very nervous. So you can see we have the film and the fluid underneath seems to be pretty good, I guess. I don't really know. So let's see if we can, I know we have to peel this off. Oh God, this is very scary. There we go. Oh, that's kind of satisfying, but I mean, the crack is still kind of there. Let's get the razor blade and clean it up a little bit and see if that helps. Okay, so you can see around this sort of area, this is where the film is. Now, I hope that using this razor blade, I'm able to just shave the top part off without scratching anything, but I hope I haven't got all this resin stuck on the top of the car. All right, let's try. Oh, there we go. Well, that's coming off pretty easily. Maybe I was panicky for no reason. So far, so good. I was very nervous, if you couldn't tell. This is definitely making me feel a little bit better. Okay, well, I have a couple of things to say. The first one is, it didn't work. Not really. I can still see the crack. It is definitely a little bit better, but I definitely would not say fixed. I would definitely not say fixed. Let me grab the camera and see if we can focus on that chip. Okay, let's see if we can even focus on this chip. Here we go. There you go. So it definitely did not remove the chip. God, that's really hard to focus on this clear glass. Oh, god damn. I was so confident that this was gonna work really, really well. Apparently not. This is a really somber feeling because I think out of all the things that we've ever done to the Lancer, this has to be one of the first ones that just didn't work. It just hasn't worked. I mean, it might have made it like a little bit better, but I definitely would not call that fixed. I'm really gutted too because the whole process, it felt like it was getting better. It felt like this was gonna work, but apparently not. I don't know if it's because the kit that I used wasn't the most expensive kit or, you know, if these do-it-yourself kits just aren't worth the money, but do you know, I'm happy that we gave it a go. I was a little bit nervous at the start when we put the resin on because it hit me that if it's not easy to get off, we could have this big square card-looking thing stuck on the front of the glass that I can't remove. So I'm glad that we could take it off, but I would have been happier if it worked. That's really upsetting. God, I had such high hopes. Such high hopes. I mean, I guess there's definitely a reason that these kits are as cheap as they are, because, I mean, if this was like $100 kit, then it would be a much more hurtful feeling when it doesn't work. But I mean, for 20 bucks, you know, if it did work, it would have been perfect. The fact that it didn't really doesn't mean that much, but it just would have been nice if it did. I don't really know what to say now. I had this whole plan of like, look how good it looks. This works so freaking well, because I was pretty confident that it was gonna work, but it didn't. So I don't know what to say now. Well, now that I can't talk about how amazing the windshield repair kit is, let me just talk about something else that's amazing. These new shirts. This is our new retro logo tee from Midnight Tune Company. If you haven't checked out the website yet, link is in the description. If you want to help out the channel, support us a little bit and grab a wicked tee, all the links will be in the description. Love your faces. This is a really weird end to a Lancer video. Normally there's some kind of conclusion, but I mean, in conclusion, this kit didn't work as well as I'd hoped. But regardless of this not working and not being the best job in the world, it was cool to try. I mean, if it worked, it would have been nicer, but at least I get a basic idea of what I need to do in the future if I have to repair glass. Maybe not with this kit, but with something in the future. But what I might do for the future is I might actually talk to some companies and see if we can film with them when they do the repair, and hopefully get a better insight as to why you would spend the money to get it done right. I don't know, man. If you guys like this video, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. Also subscribe. I post new videos every week. You don't want to miss them. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media. All the links will be in the description. Other than that, I'm gonna see you guys next week. I love all of your faces. Bye.